अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। All right. Principle 8, personal and social responsibility. Entering the Grihastha ashram is an opportunity to take on more Krishna conscious responsibility. So it indicates that even social responsibility can be taken in terms of Krishna consciousness. And that is added. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 27th verse, chapter, 1st verse, the purport is that if a husband and wife combine together in Krishna consciousness and live together peacefully, that is very nice. However, if a husband becomes too much attracted by his wife and forgets his duty in life, the implications of materialistic life will again resume. Devotees can preach effectively by demonstrating responsibility, integrity, and other exemplary qualities. So, he is not out of the society, he is part of the society. But he has to become an exemplary in behavior. And he will demonstrate the important qualities of success in the household life by showing responsibility, integrity, and all that is recommended. And the 3rd canto, 14th chapter, 49th verse, purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, he was endowed with all good qualities. That is the sign of a pure devotee. He is always eager to mitigate the miseries of suffering humanity. The most obnoxious misery of a living entity is his forgetfulness of Krishna. A pure devotee, therefore, always tries to evoke everyone's Krishna consciousness. This is the panacea of all miseries. There are 26 qualities of a pure devotee. And out of these 26 qualities, one of the most important quality to distinguish is what?
Compassion.
He is surrendered to Lord Krishna. Mayavadis can show all the other exemplary qualities also. Only difference is that they are bereft of Swarupa Lakshana. Rest are Tatastha Lakshana, marginal. marginal qualities can be demonstrated even by the impersonalist. They cannot demonstrate only one quality, that is because they have not taken shelter of Lord Krishna. So their Swarup Lakshana is absent. So do not be dissuaded by the impersonalists or Mayavadis. They know how to behave better than devotees even. Never try to compete or underestimate their, external qualification. We are not interested in their external qualification. We are interested whether they have surrendered to Lord Krishna and his plan or not. Number 9, the principle. Economic development and prosperity. An important householder duty is to ethically generate wealth and prosperity. A devotee should avoid an unhealthy poverty mentality, understanding the benefits of prosperity both individually and to promote Krishna consciousness. Attachment and detachment, important elements of spiritual life, are essential in the marriage. The question is, exactly what are we attached to? Our attachment should lie in offering everything to the Lord, whether it is our family, house, work, or possession. Rupa Goswami defined what is the most qualifying detachment. He defines this: the anasaktasya vishaya yatha arham upayunjatah nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchyate. The qualified detachment is called yukta vairagya. Yukta means in connection with Krishna and vairagya. So, anasakta vishayan, he is not attached to the objects of sense gratification. Yatha arham upayunjata, but he utilizes them for the purpose of promoting Krishna consciousness. Yatha arham. So, as far as he is concerned, nirbandhe. But if Krishna is concerned, it's Krishna sambandhe. This is his attitude. It is not mine, but I'm using for Krishna's service, for devotee service, like that. So, nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe, that is called yukta vairagya. The vairagya is in connection with Krishna. All right? On the other behalf, the Mayavadis concern about so-called tyag, which is called a gross negation. Tyag means gross negation of the things. It says, prapanchikitaya buddhaya. Prapancha. Pra means they have already been existing before. Pancha means 5. What are the 5 things that existed before? Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. This is called prapancha. All right? One whose intelligence is dwelling on these 5 elements, he is called a prapanchi. Means he is a materialistic, political person. He will always promote the cause of sense gratification. It's called prapanchi. So prapanchiki taya buddhya, pertaining to this prapancha, if one keeps on his intelligence, that is materialistic intelligence. Hari vastuna sambandhina, without the connection of that object with Lord Hare. Mumukshuh parityago. If he is trying to become spiritually advanced by giving up parityag, then his tyag is falgu, vairagya. Katyate. Falgu means useless or simply a make show. It is not factual.
False renunciation.
Yeah, false renunciation. Markat Vairagya is something else. Markat means monkey. Alright? Monkey becomes Vairagi. Is it possible? Is a sense gratifier. He takes the troop of female monkeys, several. If one is lost, what's a big deal for him? He never gets much morose. His moroseness is very prickling just for little few moments. So that is called Markatya Vairagya. And most of the people in general who are bereft of real knowledge of the self, they also get this kind of dejection just for a while. That is called Smashan Vairagya. That this Vairagya is only up to the limits of going to visit a place of crematorium. And he will become dejected because he sees the most important part of him, their body is burning and he can't do anything. All right? And as soon as he comes out from the smashan, he will back to square. So Yudhishthir Maharaj found this is the most amazing thing in the world. When he was asked this question by the Yaksha, when they were incognito, what is the most astonishing thing in the world? So he said, Ahani ahani gachanti yamalave manava shesham sthavaram ichchati kim ascharya tatparam. All right? Day and night passes and people, the kinsmen that whom he is familiar with, they are going to Yamalaya. Right? Yamalaya means the home of the demigod of death, Yamaraj. But Shesham, the one who is a reminder, Sthavaram Icchanti. He wants to stay permanently in his same body. Even though they are experienced that his body is going to be burnt, he never thinks that my body will be again carried by somebody and will get burnt. So this is the most amazing thing, that they never think. They want permanency within the body. So what is more astonishing than this bodily conception? So our attachment should lie in offering everything to the Lord, whether it is our family, house, work, or possessions. Or don't touch about the family. They are so independent, we can't impose our idea on them. Means he was a failure from the very beginning. He was not able to take hold or charge of the family. If he thinks he sacrificed so much life and energy and money after his family and they are not going to obey him, they are not going to follow his instruction, what is the fun? It's a failure. So why does he expect them to follow in the path of Krishna consciousness. Charity is an essential duty for Grihasthas. All right? Let's see. One newly married devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, what could he do in order to make his married life successful? Srila Prabhupada replied, when you have finished cooking and offering prasad, go out in the street and call out loudly, is there anyone hungry? And when you have fed anyone who is hungry, then you and your family can sit and take your meal. Thinking that Prabhupada had not clearly heard his question, devotee again asked what he could do to make his married life successful. Right? To which Srila Prabhupada patiently repeated the same answer. When you have finished cooking and offering prasad, go into the street and call out loudly, is there anyone hungry? When you have fed anyone who is hungry, then you and your family can sit and take your meal. Yet again, devotee thought he had not been heard correctly and asked again, only to receive the same reply for the third time. Principle 10, focus on children's welfare. Nurturing spiritually qualified children is the main purpose of married life. A relationship is an arrangement made by God to give us the opportunity to reciprocate His love for us. As we care for a husband, wife, or children, we gain the motivation to offer them the best of ourselves, even beyond what is necessary, because they belong to God. Our children are not ours alone, they are the children of God. Marriage of Satswarup and Jadurani in New York, 5th September 1968. So in our association we welcome this sort of marriage between trained brahmachari and brahmacharini so that we can welcome nice children for future Krishna conscious generation. This is our viewpoint. Jyotirmayi asking. Because he was saying that the parents can keep their children and teach them themselves like Arundhati is teaching Aniruddha. So does it mean that the parents can? Prabhupada said, he complained that my boy is not being properly. So I said that you teach your son. Jyotirmay said, and she can keep him and teach him all the time until he's older and so on. Prabhupada said, yes, that is the duty of the father and mother. Along with that, he can teach others also. These things are to be organized. But some way or other, our students should be given education and spiritual life, Krishna consciousness. Individually, collectively, or somehow or other. The principle is laid down here. Brahmachari Guru Kule Vasandanto Guru Hritam. This is the beginning. Everything is there. We have to simply follow it. We haven't got to manufacture anything. That is a waste of time. Whatever is there, you follow. In a letter to Chaya Dasi, February 16, 1972, all the children should learn to read and write very nicely and a little mathematics so that they will be able to read our books. Cooking, sewing, things like that do not require schooling. They are learned simply by association. There is no question of academic education for either boys or girls. Simply a little mathematics and being able to read and write well, that is all. No universities.
So, just the last point there. It says no academic education for boys and girls. Can you elaborate on how relevant is it in today's competitive environment? where even in Krishna consciousness we feel that we have to have.
What I can understand, Prabhupada does not want to send them to slaughterhouses. The public school system or private school system where there is God consciousness is a taboo. The children are going to be learning nothing but demoniac education. So there is no need for outside schooling. But mothers can do homeschooling. This curriculum that they are interested in, they should be learned at home. If homeschooling can produce for an ordinary Allahabadi woman to raise 2 children, 2 boys, and made them the youngest doctors, one from Cambridge and another from Oxford University, and acclaimed them, and they are initiated devotees. The success of homeschooling surpasses everyone. And you can teach the subjects of homeschooling. It might be the same academics, except nonsensical science subjects where you need to do experimentation with this and that. It is bogus, so hocus pocus. So, do homeschooling. The father can do homeschooling, mother can do homeschooling.
If homeschooling is done, how to what extent the homeschooling can be done? Like to what class? Till the university?
I told you. They were the youngest graduates,
Yeah, but that's
postgraduate and master.
But that's only those 2 of them, Maharaj. But what we are thinking
Still,
is...
homeschooling is to be credited. And it is allowed academically, even in the institution.
How do they cope up with the other in the normal outside
Because
world?
the knowledge imparted in homeschooling is personalized, and if the mother covers every subject matter thoroughly, then there is no difference in imparting of the knowledge.
Yes, Maharaj, that is one part of homeschooling. That is knowledge side of homeschooling. What about the other side? Like, how do we move with others? The children will remain innocent all through their lives. And how are they going to...
Who said they remain innocent? I am going to tell you something that will startle you. They are not innocent. At 12 years, adolescent, innocence is gone. And they will put you in troubles. See, homeschooling means personal attention. The mother is careful that, and after all the curriculum of homeschooling comes from the universities. They give, but only instead of a teacher, our mother is the teacher. Mommy, me too. In homeschooling, parents do not make their own curriculum. It comes from the universities where they approve, the homeschooling. Yes, you can do.
Sorry, I guess my question is, I understand, Maharaj, that if he gets 100 out of 100, my son, if homeschooled, he can also get 100 out of 100. That's fine.
Yes.
That bit is the education bit. But there are other byproducts as well. When you go to a school and mingle with other kids,
And
so
peer pressure will be brought in,
Yeah,
and you are going to be mess. Do you think it's essential? Save your kids.
Okay, Maharaj.
They will bring negative peer pressure.
Okay.
Because the school is not responsible to inculcate the character. They will demand from the parents that your boy should be well behaved. They are not responsible for developing character in the children. You are responsible. So why don't you take the whole responsibility of teaching them at home?
Okay, Guru Maharaj.
Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes. Again, if our kids go to work in
Yes, they will go.
25 years time,
Fine.
they are in homeschool under parents' guidance.
Yes.
And after 25 years, they go to work.
Yes.
And there is a lot of expectation apart from just education.
They outshine.
Okay.
Do you know how, they will be taught Vaishnava behavior and everything, and their boss will be very happy.
Okay, Guru Maharaj.
You don't have to teach them, neither they are going to learn something dirty or bad from such even a work association.
Sometimes they do not know what is bad also, you know.
Who said? No. Krishna says, we are taught in Ishopanishad that vidyam cha avidyam yasad bedo bhayam saha avidyayam mrityam tirtva vidyayam amritam ashnute. You must learn side by side what is vidya and what is avidya. Your academics we are learning. It is avidya. Avidya will lead to nothing but death. But vidyayam amritam ashnute. It's an Ishopanishad. Vidya means the one that liberates you. You will achieve deathlessness by cultivation of vidya. Sa vidyaya vimukte. Don't think that, Vidyaram, going to school? Yes, I'm going to school. Okay. Beta, worship Saraswati and then go. So our kid worships Saraswati, and there he goes and learns avidya. Saraswati is not avidya's Devi. But Mayavad is made. Saraswati Puja Bengal mein kitni ho rahi? So much Saraswati Puja is going on. But which Saraswati are they worshipping? Avidya.
So the so-called conventionally we say, "Arey chalu rehne ka." I mean, wherever we go at the workplace, you know, there is a lot of politics going on. There is a lot of
dhira dhira jana priya priya karau nirmat sarau pujito. They will be pleasing to both ruffians and those who are sober, because they are not envious. Such trained devotees at home will not be envious. Rather, they will be putting the positive dent in their psyche, and they will appreciate. Goswamis were both pleasing to ruffians as well as learned alike. So don't worry, because you have not seen, you were trained and you thought you have saved yourself. Yes, you have saved yourself nicely. But then, why do you have to take risk for your kids? And that too in Australia? Parents are here, therefore everything will be okay automatically? No. Homeschooling is a personal responsibility. There we escape the responsibility and dump on teachers. But modern education, where the teachers dump the responsibility of essential education on parents. Even though when your kid comes with a lot of homework, and if you do not help him to resolve, your child will be punished because of your inability to do that. It is already putting you as in the irresponsible state. Why don't you take the full responsibility? Why have half-cooked responsibility?
Anyway, parents are interviewed these days before schooling.
You will be forced. Now, that is a tricky materialistic education, isn't it? They don't want to be responsible. So naturally what they will be imparting is completely a hocus pocus, unfounded thing which will not be beneficial to your child. They are interested in your money. So, Prabhupada is right. Their higher education, they will get it from our books. And other things they will learn from experience like preaching, Sankirtan party, etc. Alongside the regular classes in reading and writing, other routine programs they should also participate in, like Arti, Kirtan, preaching, Sankirtan, like that. At 12 years they can be initiated. And how many teachers after your child? You two and the Guru. While in the school, how many teachers are there per child? One teacher per maybe 35 or 25 children. So,
one of my relatives, she is teaching to 141.
Oh my God. In India? Yeah, of course. It is less. But in the whole school there is only one teacher. Then, recently some news came that 25% of the teachers take regular leave and they are absent in their school. So there was a survey and they were going, reporters are going after the kids. Where is it? Did your teacher come? He says, no, he didn't come since last week. They are underfunded, okay? At the same time, there is nobody to teach. So somebody gives them instruction, read from your book. Our kids in the public system, they are nothing but deprived. They do not have full facility to develop their potentials. No. If you can make it, then you will give them the most potentials by your personal indulgence.
Maharaj, if as a parent, if we can't give it to our kids, homeschooling, is Gurukul recommended?
Gurukul? Oh my God. You can help, but help Gurukul also. Okay? Take personal interest. They will have better atmosphere, but a lot of nonsense was going on. So where is the check and balance? You can't find easy way to cope out the responsibility of educating your children. Dump on others, no.
One of the responsibilities of Grihastha is to make sure the child is Krishna conscious. Then only one enters into.
Naturally.
So can you understand that homeschooling is one of the safety nets where one can fulfill that responsibility?
Yes, definitely. homeschooling of developing child consciousness, Krishna consciousness. But the other subject matters of higher education, they will learn from experience, like preaching, Sankirtan party, etc. Preaching means he is trying to say something what he is practicing. That is Sankirtan. There is no shame on that. It's a bona fide subject matter that he is becoming expert in it. Even with when they grow up with what you call academic illiteracy, still they are the best speakers on the truth, eloquency, because they speak precisely.
Maharaj, even in Gurukul, I was speaking to one of the senior devotees in here in Melbourne now. So he was just having a discussion. So he said even in Gurukulis or even in an institution called in Chapati, they have a school. So it is Gopals. So it is no Gopal Gana is not 100% sure that out of 50 students, 1 or 2 only can become a devotee. So he was saying that it is how they cultivated, how it's been cultivated at home, that matters more than the education what they get.
No.
So they will get the...
Devotees, children learn by association. That's what Prabhupada wants to prove here. They were getting association so much close. In Vrindavan, we had how many kids? Over 150 kids, And when the Gurukul was closed down because of misdemeanor of the seniors, our kids were forced by the government to enter into public school. Right? And our kids were exposed. And when the exam came, they stood 2 grades higher than their peers. This is the general observation. Consciousness is developed in our kids. When consciousness is developed, knowledge will be received without much hindrance. Outside, the kids' consciousness is simply geared on eating, sleeping, and defending. That's not good. Entertainment means illicit activities. It stunts our full growth. When Krishna consciousness is invested, the growth is tremendous. In a tiny brain, even that growth is tremendous. Even a child can preach, no bars, because of the nature of transcendence. It is always superior. Prabhupada gives example of Saraswati. Saraswati was the first child between Malti and Shyamasundar. So early times, she started walking and speaking, and Prabhupada was very fond of this girl. One time in the Open Sunday Festival, Prabhupada was watching her, and she was so bold, she was talking to one old man. And Prabhupada, speaks of very high. See what this child is talking to? She was asking the old man, do you know who Krishna is? The old man says, no. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh. Prabhupada said, She is Guru. This child is Guru because she is speaking the absolute truth, whether one realizes or not. Krishna makes it possible to bring the absolute out from the mouth of an innocent person. So, does it require academic education to speak absolute truth? Public system will stunt your conscious development. So what is the benefit? They are only helping to say systematically engage in developing your bread system. Nothing more than that. Oh, MA, PhD, Prabhupada said, he is wagging tail at the employer's doorsteps. Please give me job. It's like a dog wagging his tail. That is, what is the glory in it? Your child can survive with full developed Krishna consciousness without any necessity to wag his tail even. Can become excellent preacher, and those who are honest, they will appreciate him and he will be surviving. So, it's not to eradicate whatever the outside education system is. But Prabhupada wanted us to preach on the institutional level. So create your own institute. Compete. But you don't have necessary to make identical situation. And Vrindavan, our high school has CBSE curriculum as a government-approved curriculum. But they were learning everything in the Krishna conscious atmosphere. We tried to give the best. It was not difficult. I took few children from Australia and Vrindavan Gurukul. My first batch was very good. Rajvidya's mother, and he shined out and made the school very prestigious by putting the school on the national basketball champion. And he already became, he graduated from the university nicely. But he is constantly in my touch and he struggles hard. Maharaj, how can I do all these things? So he's trying to keep himself engaged and so many festival creating. The last year's Brisbane had Rath Yatra for the first time and he was one of the managers. And it was so grand success. Yeah, he's the initiator of Holy Festival there in America. In Australia. And I'm pushing him to have now boat festival on a larger scale. So they are doing it. Our kids won't go out from the sphere of Krishna consciousness. That is the benefit of Krishna and homeschooling too. Okay.
When Arudha Mataji and Radhika Raman Prabhu were here,
Yeah.
they were touching on the same point that even we give them the Krishna consciousness at home, and if they keep growing in the outside world, even if they lose track, but if we give them the proper basics in the start, because the children are children. So they were telling the examples of how Lord Krishna was naughty and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime is naughty, breaking the pots, etc. So they will be like that, but the basics we were given, then even if they lose track, but they will come back. So they were touching on the point.
Definitely. Our first batch of the second generation, and Vrindavan we have seen that when Vrindavan was crumbled down, all the kids were on the street. Many chose to remain experimenting themselves, but in 1.5 years they came back. And nice advanced devotees are, and they are shining up. Karnamrita, she is now one of the Kirtaniyas, very acclaimed. I saw her growing up from a little child, taking care of her mother, until her mother passed away in Vrindavan. She was taking care, And after that, she came to Vrindavan and learned the music. I have seen so many Gurukul kids. So anyway, that the whole idea is that as far as possible we have to give them maximum of Krishna consciousness. Don't defend your karmi schools. Right? Prabhupada, they are slaughterhouses. All right. Principle 10, focus on children's welfare. Children should not be neglected for any reason, as for example, in the name of spiritual life. A mother's role is very important. Even if she has been a pujari or going to work outside, Prabhupada said that is not her main function. Her Krishna consciousness depends upon how she is raising her child. So she should be fully devoted. This is not, to raise a child is not the job of a working woman. Then what is she entering into the householder life for? To become another employee? For a mother to become an employee is a shame, not a prestige. A career-oriented woman can create more problems in functioning of Krishna consciousness. When we act as caretakers instead of proprietors, we try to please the Lord in our interactions with those close to us, because we understand that everyone is a representative of God. If parents did not feed their children properly, provide proper education, or take proper care of their health, the Lord will be displeased. But did it say that the Lord will be displeased if you don't send your kid to public school? It doesn't say that. We should not be blinded by how our kids are growing out of our sight. Financial stability is necessary to help fulfill children's needs. So proactive steps must be taken to avoid all forms of child abuse. Dhruta Prabhu, he has written an article and published in Back to Godhead magazine, an issue of August in 1984. It goes without saying that everything possible should be done to protect children from the nightmarish horrors of sexual abuse. But a thoughtful person trained in spiritual principles of Krishna consciousness can see the whole issue of protecting children in a more thorough and all-encompassing perspective. Devotees of Krishna believe that children should be protected right from the very beginning of their existence. Means one has to go through proper sanskaras before conceiving the child. Krishna-conscious married couples engage in sex only for the purpose of conceiving a child, thus ensuring that every child is loved and wanted. To not give a child a chance to take full advantage of the opportunity to return to its real home in the spiritual world is to condemn it to painful existence of death and rebirth, perhaps a species less than human. That is child abuse. Very strong statement. Krishna-conscious parents also desire to protect their children from the ultimate form of suffering. This is suffering of repeated birth and death. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Guruna sasyad, swajanana sasyad, pitana sasyad, jananina sasyad. Na devam sasyat. What is that? Samupetya mrityum. If you are not going to liberate your dependent from the clutches of death, you have no right to become a father, mother, teacher, or even praja, means the king even. Yes.
You know, a couple of slides back there was a point saying financial stability is required for children's welfare.
Mm-hmm.
So as devotees sometimes also we hear and people say that, oh, I'm working for my children, I'm working so hard for my children's welfare, making sure that they have enough. So what is the legitimate way where we can say that our work is legitimate in terms that we are really working for children's welfare, or it's our own sense gratification we are doing? Like, what is the thin line there?
First have a child and then work.
I'm just asking in general.
No, that is the idea. People get married and they don't conceive, but they accumulate money for future and they save for their child. And meanwhile, Krishna withdraws even the potencies to produce. And then they struggle. Then what? Marriage is for procreation. So first come first and then think of it.
Maharaj, one more. As of the new modern era,
Modern era?
people think to reproduce like after the marriage, they reproduce after a long time, like 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years time. So, and even people say that with children the life is so hard. So, what is practical for?
Remain brahmachari. That is most practical.
Yeah, actually, in case of my cousin as well, my cousin, I was speaking to him, he's married for last couple of years and he doesn't want to reproduce.
That is nonsense. Because irresponsibility is predominantly making them think like that. Are they going to refrain from sex? Then? Why not remain honest, candid, and rather live a life of make-believing for more entanglement and punishment? Patrahinam grahashunyam. It's an irresponsible life. So, even Krishna doesn't support that. Mother Nature will not support either. They will live in their hallucination of enjoyment and nothing but Krishna is right. They are the very breeding ground of miseries. And they think the child is going to bring miseries, is an impediment.
So Maharaj, if I want to tell them anything regarding reproduction, what should I suggest?
Are you older or younger?
I'm younger.
Then don't give.
I mean, even indirectly, like through his parents or his relatives.
Then teach them, this is what Krishna says. Do your duty and then shut up. Okay? Okay, as part and parcel of God, we naturally belong to a culture of love, liberation, and constant celebrations. When we extend this love and joy to others, we experience ever-deepening levels of God's love. The world sorely needs a deeper sense of community and a more mature understanding of personal happiness, both of which depend upon our willingness to raise individual and collective consciousness by sharing our love with others. All right. So, how do we expand the love from self-centeredness to extend to family and society? A stable emotional background where family members feel wanted and appreciated is essential for children's personal spiritual growth. Where elders are respected, children benefit more. But hardly anybody wants to keep their father and mother together even as a responsibility. Children will be bereft of their association. And don't call simply for babysitting. That is not their job. Don't take due disadvantage of their natural affection to their grandchildren. It is not meant for babysitting. It's not a reciprocation at all. But rather to foster their personal and spiritual growth, their respect is essential because that association and that impression will make them foster their Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is saying, now you, husband and wife, must work together combinedly with greater responsibility for raising your new child in ideal Krishna consciousness. Children learn by imitation of their parents. So if you both set Krishna conscious example, the child will very naturally and easily become advanced in Krishna consciousness by following.
Maharaj, should we request our kids to chant?
Why not? Always teach. Chanting Mahamantra is not difficult.
And how much pressure should we put it on them? Because when they're small, they see us and they start chanting, but as they grow up, it becomes a bit of a challenge to to keep.
No, don't force them. Encourage them in a loving way so they can take it. Otherwise, they can exert negative psychological impressions. They know how to harass you then.
If that's the case, then they would never chant. If we don't tell them to chant, they wouldn't chant at home.
No, because then take away their video games and other things that you are giving them to chant. Yes. And you have to observe your kids very closely. It depends upon how husband and wife behaves in front of their children. Children pick up simply by imitation. And then at the age of 7 and onwards, 6 or 7, the psychological adjustment that they themselves start making, and it ends up in lies. Children learn how to lie by their own fancy. And it can go worst. In Brisbane, we are facing one case like that, where mother is totally deprived. The kids went against the... How does a kid... Because the husband has not fulfilled the requirement to support his wife or to cover and protect his wife. A mother is not an enemy of the children.
Maharaj, you mentioned observe your child. Can you please elaborate a little bit?
Oh my God, I'm not a child psychologist. But the idea, it is said that you have to check on our children. Don't take it for granted because they are playing, let them play out of sight, out of mind. No. A responsibility is that what are they dwelling on? What subject matter? A mother has to be very close to the children while they play and whether they are making fancy out of lying or making make-believe things. And if you give Barbie doll, oh my God, they will go into a different direction. These are not, they are given this kind of toys just to inflame their imagination. And imagination is unfounded. It's not showing the realistic situation of the life. It's a fancy. Children learn from observations. They're smart. There is a great value in a strong sense of community as traditionally expressed through the extended family. No nuclear family. Nuclear family is a demoniac idea.
Now, like in like Australia or any other countries, when people migrate, so a lot of this is like an issue, like a lot of newcomers also face. Like, they lose the connection of the extended family. So, like, how do you overcome that? Like,
Prabhu, you have to pay the price. Nothing is free. If you choose some kind of aspirations, then you have to sacrifice something. Do you think it is free? Never. Nothing is free. If you try to get some advantage here, but you will lose the disadvantage there.
It's sometime Maharaj, like even you try, like, even if you go to the grassroots of India, like being the extended family over there, people have actually lost touch with Krishna consciousness. They seem more engrossed in material nature than you, like, being over here, you feel more spiritualized than being in the extended family, like over there. So, like, it becomes contradictory, like, do I need to establish that extended family relationship? Because it's not really conducive to your Krishna consciousness.
No, it is not like that. Krishna consciousness is independent. It is not dependent on any circumstances. Right? Krishna consciousness seed is invested in everyone's heart. Because soul is part and parcel of Krishna, so inherently he has Krishna consciousness. But he forgets by proper situation he created against this ultimate retention supposed to be intact, but he forgets. He chooses. So, most of us who came to foreign countries, we never thought that we have to follow religion here. Right? But we saw the need. We saw the need. Because without Krishna consciousness, the life is dry. Life doesn't have any living force. A robot can also work. Some men becoming like a robot. What is the value of it? Krishna conscious culture is not an Indian culture. Muslim could not break, but the Britishers did it. So we have to reinvest and understand the importance of it. So our point is that Krishna consciousness is not depend upon time, place and circumstances. It is an ever eternal fact. It is always have to be connected with Krishna all the time. When you become Krishna conscious, you have aspiration that, varieties in Krishna consciousness will bring unity of serving. So, you cannot become an artificial Gujarati, because just like a dog's tail is always curved, it cannot become straight. So, don't change the culture artificially or give a mode, but rather utilize it in the service of Krishna and bring out the best of it. That is the unity in diversity. It's not a segregated attempt. We need to know this principle. The very first we started actually this presentation on the definition of unity. What Prabhupada says the unity. Right? Utilize it in best service of Krishna.
So Maharaj, what I'm reciting, so extended family, so where I'm counting the extended family, the circle of the devotees and the Krishna.
All the family members you are attached to and you are serving, they are part of your family. And you act in a very judicious way, a very expert way, that they won't feel vacancy in you. Your service attitude has enhanced more. And they will adopt your culture because they were deficient themselves and therefore they did not give you. So they will have no problem acknowledging their frailty. In all countries, when most of us migrated, without exception, they saw the need. It can be only fulfilled by developing Krishna conscious culture. Under the name of different religions, but they would not give a very substantial or other deeper understanding about the soul and whatnot. They're rudimentary. Nonetheless, they try to keep the culture alive. We are cultivating culture of Krishna consciousness. Back to the original, without any boundary, because it pertains to the soul, not to a tract of Gujarat or Punjab, but rather all-encompassing where Gujarat, Punjab and Maharashtra and Bihar, Rajasthan, everyone comes. Or even that part of America, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, everybody comes. There are no restrictions for that. All right. Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharmaha sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharma abhibhavatyuta. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. In Kali Yuga, when this extended family system is not there, then what are they going to lose? They didn't have in the first place. So, family traditions which are bringing down, we should utilize it the best for the benefit of everyone, rather than trying to restrict ourselves in a nuclear family. Man is social anyway. He is not going to be contented with his own family. He will look for the neighbors. But you have already your extended family, why don't you look? You cannot create extended family by neglecting your own. Prabhupada explains that in the purport. In the system of Varnashram Institute, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying process in the family, beginning birth to death. Overseeing of all this functionality of keeping the principles of religion was conducted through their guidance. When they pass away, it will disappear. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Is it not? So when you do not invite your elders for the purpose of, upliftment of your own consciousness, because they had a better opportunity, they grew up in cultural environment, and they had the strong family ties, they know it. While coming here, you will be bereft. So better invite them. Last principle is regulated, balanced and exemplary lifestyle. Regulation is an important feature of devotee life, especially for householders who have to juggle many different types of responsibility. All right? So nobody is ignoring that, but it's a challenge. You must be enthusiastic to face all the challenging aspect of householder life. Prabhupada wrote letter to Govinda Das on 6 February 1975. My dear Sri Govinda Das, concerning a woman's duty, if she gets married, that does not necessarily mean that she must give up any of her service in the temple or in Sankirtan. But she must also see to it that her household duties are not neglected. And out of the household duties, the most important duty is to raise her child in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said that is the first duty. Other duties come later. If a mother is not attending her child, then she is at fault. She should give up all the other so-called duties in a temple even, simply just to run and raise her child. Devotees moving to the second ashram should anticipate significant changes in the lifestyle. So he must be prepared. He must be prepared. Some difficulties in establishing a balanced and regulated lifestyle are to be expected, and one should seek suitable support and guidance. In a loving relationship, each difficulty in our lives becomes a challenge to glorify and serve the Lord. When we care about someone, the hard times are wonderful because they demonstrate the need for greater communication, greater intimacy. In hard time, just to fulfill the need, somebody has to sacrifice more or less for each other. That service attitude brings them much more closer and intimate. Because our partner did not receive our words or action in loving spirit, we see need of love. This gives us an exciting opportunity to serve and support the well-being of the other person. This is a great art of doing work, and in the beginning, this process requires very expert guidance. One should therefore act very diligently under the expert guidance. Householders should maintain their spiritual priorities. For example, sadhana, as well as upholding their more worldly obligations. Preaching without practical example is not effective. Devotee householders should demonstrate such exemplary lifestyles that others become inquisitive as to what underlies their success. We may not be able to become exemplary if we see the failure at every step. Nobody is going to learn from us. Prabhupada wrote another letter to Chayadasi. You ask about marriage. Yes, actually I wanted that every woman in the society should be married. But what is this training to become wives and mothers? No school is required for that, simply association. In a television interview in Chicago, Prabhupada spoke, man is regulated to become a first-class man and woman is regulated to become a chaste and faithful wife. then the life will be successful. So again, these are the 12 principles that we discussed at length to achieve Krishna conscious family life. Alignment with Srila Prabhupada, spiritual growth and progress, spiritual equality and material difference, positive and realistic vision, mutual respect and appreciation, commitment and dedication, open and honest communications, personal and social responsibility, economic development and prosperity, focus on children's welfare, family love and affection, and regulated, balanced and exemplary lifestyle. All right. 7 qualities to strive to develop, strengthen your marriage or to seek a prospective marriage partner. You should look to these 7 things. Is he, she, or balanced, respectful, good listener, humble, faithful to the Supreme Lord, free from addiction, and compatibility. Okay, let's see. What do you mean by balance? Huh? Pagal to nahi hai na, balanced hai. Let's see. By avoiding extreme views or behaviors that will throw us off our chosen life path, we can remain mentally, physically, and spiritually balanced. And we can choose to marry a similarly balanced person. Respectful. Respect is crucial to any relationship. A person who respects others will not neglect to respect their partner. While one is in harsh or critical will, sooner or later, most likely to exhibit the same behavior towards a partner. Most relationship problems stem from poor listening habits. There is a saying that first seek to understand before trying to be understood. Don't shovel your thought, oh, you don't understand me, or you don't. But do you understand, Prabhu? First seek to understand and then demand for getting understood. Listening. Our tendency in conversation is to be thinking about what to say next rather than attentively hearing what is being said. Say precisely and shortly. Do not grumble on and on and on and on and on. That is not the way to convey the message. If you have to send a message across, say it precisely. Prabhupada says, words spoken precisely is true eloquence. True eloquence, the one that communicates. The words spoken precisely is the true eloquence. Just to describe a little, you have to speak, go on for half an hour, then where is the time for you to listen? You have a lot of cloud within your brain. If you want to be heard, then speak precisely, in short. Our habit is to make our conversation more strong so we focus on what to say next rather than what is to be hear and then respond. Huh? If your potential partner and you are either good listeners or committed to practicing the skill necessary to become good listeners, your marriage is more likely to succeed. Otherwise, the cross-firing will go on, and it's just like India-Pakistan. Cross-firing is always going on, and nobody listens to anything. Humble. A healthy partner can admit his or her mistake, apologize, and make amends for hurtful actions. Humility is good for a relationship and is also the key factor in spiritual progress. It will help you to move forward. Otherwise, you are stuck in the muck. Faith, the foundation of spiritual practices, increase the individual's self-fulfillment and happiness and brings peace and harmony to a marriage, family and community. Marriages are stronger and more rewarding when both spouses are committed to their personal spiritual development. Free from addictions. Addictions often overshadow relationship with family members, friends and the Lord. Avoid persons who have excessive attachment to drugs, alcohol, food, sex, internet chat like Facebook, computer games or television. Never marry with them. And even if you find out after marriage, then throw away those things. Compatibility. Compatible people have a similar nature and share many of the same interests, values, intellectual and philosophical aptitudes. Before marriage planning, it's best by spending time together, you can get the idea of how well the two you get along. But before attachment sets in, just check it out. Consult people who know the other person well and consult a qualified astrologer. Before the attachment between two is setting in, because it will be cause of bondage and then you can't complain later on.
Up to what extent we should consult with astrologer?
All the extent. Why partially? Verify with another one whether a person is knowledgeable or not. If there is some variation, but there might be some common ground anyway to understand the compatibility. So, a lot of questions. Oh, you already collect? Oh my God, so many. When performing Gaura Aarti at home, kids don't participate. It must have come from you. No. We have to force them, and even if they come and stand, they will not sing. Should we force them or just ignore them? You better give him a mridanga in Kartal. You can't force them without much attraction and love for the sound vibration. Make it interesting for them and let them perform. For Gauranga Arti, kids are allowed. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so kind that tell them to perform. They want something interesting and they can worship even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. So, parents have to be more innovative. Instead of forcing them, engage them. They should not only attend the Aarti, rather they should start leading the Aarti too. That is our aim. But unless and until you are engaging in other services, they are also direct service. Then the service attitude will inspire them to make more progress. Even if they don't chant, but want to process, then we will have an opportunity to tell them, if you want to make all the service this rendered through him, then you should speak up. There you chant the Maha Mantra and Krishna will accept. Like that. So, with care and concern, with loving attitude, not by force, kids can take up Krishna consciousness very easily. Let me see, the same handwriting. Something identical. Looks like one family has more problems than others. Should we give kids normal chocolate? Once in temple, senior devotees served chocolate, topping on ice cream. Kids started visiting temples, allowed chocolate, but parents are not allowing. Even GBC cannot come to the conclusion. He said it depends upon you. If chocolate becomes a problem because there is theobromine in it, maybe habit forming, but it is mild. So some say, Prabhupada ate some chocolate because the chocolate burfi was made before, and Prabhupada says, yeah, it is good. But Prabhupada also condemned chocolate, that it is just like caffeine, avoid it.
The cocoa.
Yeah. So, even GBC doesn't want to venture into the problem of chocolate and left to individuals. So there is certain sections of hierarchy, they love chocolate, and others say, no, Prabhupada doesn't want, so that's good enough for us. We don't want either. Okay?
So Maharaj, can it be offered? Chocolate we can't offer?
You can offer carob or offer to Guru. What can you do? Well, Prabhupada tasted. This is definitely a different person. During Bhagavatam class, you were mentioning that anything happens by the will of Krishna. When we see some problems in devotee life, is that because of our karma in the past life, or it's Krishna's plans? Well, karma and its reactions are also coming in Krishna's plan. He already did. Krishna is taking the responsibility, hetuna anena kaunte jagadvi parivartate. He is the cause of all causes, right? So also sometimes devotees take some decisions keeping Krishna in center, but are those plans of Krishna or our free will? Yes, Krishna consciousness is also been expressed by our free will. It's not a compulsion. But because it is natural, that we invite to develop more and more Krishna consciousness. It is our free will to become a devotee. It's our free will to become a demon. There is no imposition. You know. But this free will is very limited, because we are limited. No, our thinking is that we want to become Krishna. That is also our free will. I want to become God. Even knowingly, unknowingly, things go like that. Those who do not know, and those who are in Mayavad or coming in some kind of religious Mayavad, they express such free will as if they are enemies of Krishna. You know? In Times of India, one article, little interview got published. It was with Hari Prasad Chaurasia, one of the best musicians in India, playing flute. So Times of India is asking, you have been so expert in playing the flute. You have done so much sadhana and so much, under the care of your guru. Why? What is your ultimate aim? And he said, I want to become Krishna. I want to become Krishna. Is Krishna only limited to the flute? But that's how we see the free will is being misused or misunderstood. It is not in the right consciousness. So, our decisions are prompted by our discrimination between what is right or wrong, or in other words, what is permanent and what is temporary. If our desire is for prayer, immediate benefit, and we take a decision, even though Krishna says that it is not beneficial to you. Quick buck business, but it is gambling, isn't it? You take some decision which is coming under a speculative aspect, which is supposed to be forbidden. Then we are using this free will. Have you purchased lottery tickets anytime? Never. You are intelligent. Punjabi. At least in one. So, the forbidden things that will entangle us into more and more tight ropes of ignorance, those kind of decisions are also being taken by our free will. Right? So you want to say that, oh, Krishna made me do it, devil made me do it? No. Misuse of free will is there. How can you ascertain it to Krishna? Huh? Free will is misused. When we were together with Krishna, it is the same free will that was misused that made us fall down. Krishna never tempers on anybody's free will. He could have dictated Arjuna and forced him to fight. But no. He's asking with loving concern, keeping intact the free will of Arjuna. Arjuna, are you satisfied by this discussion? Has your illusion gone? I don't think he has a question. His mother has a question. No? Oh, no. Then somebody must have. Okay. So free will was immediately understood. Arjuna's free will was not to fight, right? But when he understood the absolute truth, he became ready. That was his free will. So free will can change your destiny. Free will can change your destiny. It depends upon what are you choosing. Right? Suppose you have purchased a ticket to go to Delhi and go to Ludhiana. Right? But in meanwhile, at Delhi you met somebody and you decide, okay, this guy is interesting and let me take him to Vrindavan. You know? That's your free will. Nobody has forced you. And probably you might have brought him to Vrindavan and made him a devotee. You know? The destiny is changed. Your destiny is changed. Krishna will never forget your service to him. Like that. So, free will is as much free as we are individually free. Right? But when our thinking is confined within the three modes of material nature, at what extent will allow our free will to be successful? There are 5 reasons for a particular result comes. Right? For any action that we take as a voluntary action, that result is originating through the agency of 5 factors. Which are those?
Super soul
Is one.
and Jivatma.
Karta. Then
Modes of Prakriti.
Prakriti. There's modes of material nature. Then
Time.
Kala, time is there. Karana, Kartuta means the field of activity is there. The result depends upon the verdict of the fire. All right? So, but free will to choose Krishna or Mammon is also there, right? The result of choosing Krishna means you are always victorious. All right? Oh my God. There is no actual need of material education for boys or girls. Prabhupada said, don't blame me. But when girls grow and when we have to get them married, today even devotee boys also have so many expectations from the girls, like they will want fair, smart, educated, working girls. How should we deal with it? Please guide us. Oh my God. Can't she make anybody a devotee? If you have trained a devotee girl, then she has all the potential to make somebody of her choice devotee. Forget that devotee who is expecting too much. Could you get it? It is better for cultivating that understanding and helping the girl to see if somebody is not even in Krishna consciousness, but they prove to be better husband if they are accommodative to the girl's spiritual life. Even after marriage, husbands generally do not take much interest, but allow their wives to become more Krishna conscious. They facilitate. And they are not violating the principles of religion. Such a behavior can also be exemplary that we should, because otherwise the devotees with so many expectations can make a farce and there won't be any sustainability of his spiritual life, even get married. Have you not understood that there are so many divorces in Krishna conscious marriages? I mean, as such, between the devotees. They are not exception. Maya can creep in. Our idea is that we should give education so they can really survive against the attacks of Maya. So where our attention should be in training our own girls. Education will solve that problem. So we have to set up priorities in training our children, both boys and girls. Because by experiencing certain priorities, which will be very guiding principle. Generally, in early adolescent, girls do not understand, but the association with the mother is the best that she will learn. Her peers at the school, they may not know anything about this inevitable problems, and then do not know even what will be the remedy. Instead of training in total ignorance without any ramifications or remedies are there, our girls are at loss. Because life is not simple anyway. Even the devotees make their life so complicated. I'm telling you about Brisbane is devotees. So, we need Krishna conscious message to cross all the boundaries. Being a mom, daughter-in-law, wife, my responsibility is to look after family, attend kids and parents' needs, and fulfilling their desires. We start neglecting husbands. Poor guy. Do you think he dumped all the burden on you? And he has high expectation towards me. How should we both understand? Feed the others you are taking care and starve him. If he is having so much high expectation. No, you have to be very kind, So, it will be... You are going to keep me busy, huh? All right. Now, it means there is no balance. How would you balance your lifestyle? And husband has to understand rather than high expectations. What is high expectation? If your husband is your good friend and well-wisher, then he will understand how engaged are you to take care of the vital necessities of the rest of the family. Rather, he should chip in, contribute in. Means he had to sacrifice his time so the wife can be more relieved. And then she can, fulfill her his expectations also. So it is a question of balancing the lifestyle. Oops. How much TV or video games should be allowed? None. How much TV or video games allowed? None. Convert your TV into Krishna conscious playback system. All right? Just engage the kids or have a what you call parental control on it. Yep, parental control. That is not invented by Hare Krishna devotees, but outsiders, they know, So we have to support and use that parental control. There is a lot of competition between devotee kids, like joining different academic courses. How should we deal with? Should we join our kids in this peer pressure? Well, if the parents are willing to take the needs of homeschooling, and if they are ready, if they contribute for the betterment of their child, your children are not going to be deprived by those who are attending the academic courses, even though they are devotees courses. I don't think the children attending the academics, devotee children attending the academics, they are going to learn something positive as far as the communication or comradeship, means friendship between the peers will be there. Your children will be coming out to your expectation in mode of goodness and humble and respecting. while the association with that peer group would be causing them only victims of mode of passion and ignorance. First of all, you will not be able to control them, and then can't complain. If mother is advising child one thing and grandparents or father interrupts and gives child whatever he wants, then there is a conflict. How should a mother react with this type of situation? Well, looks like the mother knows so much and the parents do not know the consequences of spoiling a child. By giving them something that will encourage them to grow faster in Krishna consciousness, that will be more valuable, rather than giving anything material and just appease them, and then they will make fight and so many things in house. The kids will not learn much from that gift. So it is to be understood for the Krishna conscious sake. But if the parents, husband, and everybody is keeping Krishna in the center, then they will also control themselves not to give anything and everything unnecessary to spoil the child. So, that would be a very good harmonizing effect on the child if Krishna is in center. Right? Otherwise, we are not keeping Krishna in center. Parents and father differs from the mother. It will be a conflict. Just keep Krishna in center and things will be easy. If homeschooling is not possible, then what should be the schedule at home once they are back from the school in terms of spiritual life? Well, Prabhupada said that for the householder, things can be adjustable according to the availability. Now, evening is more free, right? So, seeing to that the homework they brought, that the parents are going to help, otherwise there is no approval. A child cannot do the homework by himself. He must have parental guidance, all right? So, they are busy in that, but then carve out a special time where you all get together to in mode of goodness. So better little mode of goodness comes through cleanliness. So if possible, take shower and come together for evening program, or attend somewhere else. But the idea is that that should be regularly to be done. So, kids have to be motivated, and Bhakti Vriksha is a very good medium for motivation for the kids. Make sure the kids participate in Bhakti Vriksha. There is no separate session at that time for the kids should be there. Because any kid who knows how to read and write and speak, should be engaged in Bhakti Vriksha. Generally, we'll allow the kids, see, they are going away. But if the kids would have been brought here, they would understand that, Maharaj is talking about us. I asked yesterday that kids should be present, right? Because we are discussing about them. So they will know, and they will say, the main point is inculcating Krishna consciousness in them. So what are the areas that we are discussing, the thing, it will go in their brain. And the purpose will be also there. So we have to expose them in such discussion. And they will remember far better than the parents. So when the parents fail to do, he will poke his finger there. Like that. They are smart. So in Bhakti Vriksha also, kids are more smarter than the parents. Engage them in talking about Krishna. Engage them, where is the answer? It is there. But parents will find it difficult to find the answer, but they will find so quickly. So this is what is the training there at an academic level is being now manifesting in Krishna consciousness. We are converting the skill. So, reading small paragraphs, kids can read. In Bhakti Vriksha, small paragraphs are there, then is there. Edification will be there later. Should we believe in astrology? How it can benefit us in Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada said, if you have umbrella, use it. Keep umbrella. Because you never know. Rain or shine, it will help you. This is astrology. It may come handy, what they call. There is a recommendation there, and finding a qualified husband, one of the things is that before the attachment sets in, verify the credibility of that Gujarati mein kahe to Muratyo, right? The prospective partner. In verification, you take anybody's opinion who is known to them, right? And then consult astrology for the graha matching, right? See, a sannyasi like me wearing rings. My mother was after me. I never wore all the way. But before she was dying, she told me, I'm giving you, I have saved my gold and you never wore. I said, okay, I'll satisfy your desire. So I promised her, and that she was satisfied. When choosing a potential partner for your daughter, what extra superior quality the potential husband must have? Extra superior quality? As the husband must be superior in qualities, it is correct understanding, of course, because he should have an extra superior quality of spiritual nature, because after all he is going to become husband and the guru of your daughter. Like that. Means from the husband, extra qualities are that he must be physically a good protector as well as spiritual guide to develop her Krishna consciousness. If she is more Krishna consciousness than the husband, then if her husband is agreeable, then take chances that he will support, as well as he will try to learn from her. Means she becomes her guru. If the husband is chauvinist, and he says, is she going to become my guru? Forget it. I said, you forget it. Guru means spiritual life. And if you are not interested, then you will tell that, forget it. So like that, we have to see how much Krishna consciousness he has. So he will become qualified to lead my daughter on spiritual path for perfection. Like that. Oh, I finished. Oh. We are on time. Target. Last question. Bless you.
Can we attend Mangala Aarti before taking baths?
Yes. Why not? But it is better. It is not offensive to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra before taking bath. But if you are able to attend at 4:30 Mangala Aarti, you can take quick bath. That will be more refreshing. Right? Mangala Aarti is to awaken the spirit soul. So unless and until spirit soul is waken up by the thunderous chanting and dancing and then japa, and your day is successful. Attending Mangala Aarti invigorates our spirituality throughout the day. So, if it is possible, then attend every day. Or perform in the home, but you can't imitate, because you can't force the kids. Get up Mangala Aarti, they will ruin your whole day if you wake them up like that.
Maharaj, you mentioned before in the previous slides that when you were mentioning about the Chinmayananda, you were speaking on 12th chapter. Now we understand Prabhupada writes clearly somewhere in the purport that the first section, Karma Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, and the Jnana section, the 7 to 12 is the Bhakti Yoga section, and this is not accessible to Mayavadis.
Yes.
So how exactly we understand now that they are not accessible in the sense, not grossly, because they can really understand, they may not be able to put into practice. Now in this case, if in Mayavadi perspective, he is a Uttamadhikari for them, Chinmayananda, because he is the practitioner. There are so many other practitioners. So when Prabhupada says this bhakti section is not accessible to them, means what exactly that means, Maharaj?
It means they don't have faith on the personality aspect of the Supreme Absolute Truth. And bhakti is applicable to only the personalities. Impersonal conception of personality is not there. They will think Krishna has a material body, like an ordinary man. So therefore, I have developed impersonal aspect, means I have realized the impersonal aspect, and why would I become agreeable with Krishna, that he is the Supreme? I am also Supreme, because I have realized the absolute truth. And they will describe it is without any quality, form, divinity. So Krishna came as an ordinary man, but they don't understand the salient features of the impersonal, that it has, this energy is internal potency. And potency does not exist without potential. But they want to isolate them, because then they are the only one as Purusha to acquire or assume. In absence of Krishna, they want to usurp his potencies.
We also read that one of the Acharya, I can't remember the name, he changed the meaning, and then Krishna Balram came and showed to Raja, his wife, there's a pastime that Lord Krishna showed the scratches on the body, then he realized. So in this case, if they are misinterpreting, then what offenses they are committing and what are the consequences like? Because they are misinterpreting the whole message of the Lord. Because I understand when they access, when they read, but they can't access to the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Bhagavad Gita. So they just relate it to the Prakriti, or they relate it to the Krishna's material
Yes.
body. So what's the consequences of them?
Consequences that andha tama pravishanti ye sambhuti mupasate tato te bhuyatamo ye sambhutyam rataha. These are impersonalists who are always dwelling on the nirgun nirakar. They go to much more darker region of ignorance than those who are worshippers of demigods. Worshipper of demigods means they are worshipping the creation. Right? Not the creator. Demigods are not the creator. They are part of the creation. Why do you worship the creation and not the creator? So they remain ignorant about the Supreme Absolute Truth, who is the creator of everything. Right? But those who are impersonalists, who are sambhutyamrataha, engaged or dwelling only on the impersonal aspect, their destination is in much more darker region of ignorance. Tato te bhuyatamo. More ignorance, long term.
Another question is, now we also understand being, once we come to the Krishna consciousness in the discipline of Srila Prabhupada, we also read about the Ritvikism. So in that case, Ritvikism. So what's the destination of those Ritviks who follow? Because they also
it's an offshoot which doesn't have any credibility or linkage with the order of Srila Prabhupada. They may have some linkage of working for Prabhupada, but they are not following the orders of Srila Prabhupada. Right? That's why they come up with different schemes and other than the order of Srila Prabhupada. Philanthropy is one show, because in ISKCON we are following Srila Prabhupada's order to construct TOVP, and they say, oh, we have a lot of money, we can create a better thing than TOVP. But TOVP is Prabhupada approved project. But the other thing of the Ritvik of 700 feet tall temple in Vrindavan, where electricity gets away every half an hour. He wants to make the temple on 70th floor. Through the elevator, people will go and they will get stuck halfway. Because one another, pseudo Vaishnava made a big temple of 108 crore. He said, I will make 800 crore temple. किसके बाप की दिवाली? He thinks that is the way to spread Krishna consciousness, by making a show. Do you think that will be a liberating experience? Or people will be kept on entangling in management and opulence aspect? Opulence is not liberating.
They still perform, they do the book distribution, prasadam distribution. Is Prabhupada really pleased, Maharaj? The Ritviks now, you see, especially in some of the areas in Bangalore, they were massive book distribution and prasadam distribution.
Book distribution is okay. We are supplying them books. They are not printing the books. Anybody can distribute the books. But what about this so-called prasad distribution to the kids?
We're doing is very massive. Very massive.
Massive, but it is also creating a mess. Right? Jayadeva Swami says it's a food for death. There is no spiritual life there. You can't chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra while distributing prasad and can't make the kids even chant. That was not Prabhupada's idea. Prabhupada said, nobody should go hungry within the 10-mile radius of a temple. And we are supposed to constantly feed, but in the temple, not outside and give khicharis in their homes. They have to reciprocate. What is the reciprocation in this midday meal? Who reciprocates with whom? Are they reciprocating with Krishna? No. Are they reciprocating with the devotees? No. It is the reciprocation of government and those who are donors. What is their reciprocation? They get 100% tax benefit from the government. And what are we gaining? If you feed the same prasadam to the kids and you think that our devotees will be also fed, they will sue you. You are not supposed to feed the midday meal to your devotees. So philanthropy will bring down back to the material platform. Krishna consciousness is independent, so we can't become dependent for Krishna consciousness. Can't depend upon government. Can't depend upon even donors. If we start serving, people will give. Chant, dance, and take Krishna Prasad. Let them serve that way, but it's not equating. It's not equating. They have their infights, they have their mess. Because after all, institution is a material body. We are preaching and keeping the target of Srila Prabhupada's legacy intact, they are not responsible. Otherwise, why they have to use fraudulent method to gain popularity, to even the excuse of feeding prasad. Mainly the manufacturer of the prasad are karmis and they do not chant even. The distributors are professional. How many devotees are involved? Everybody eats prasad and nobody becomes a devotee. There's a food for death. That is not the potency of prasad.
Their destination is worse than Mayavadi, so because they're not placing Prabhupada, they're not placing Prabhupada.
I think they are taking name of Prabhupada to hide their anarthas. Pseudo-religionists. Let's see, after Madhu Pandit passes away, the whole Ritvit will dry up. What are the chances of surviving? No.
So why does Krishna allow?
Why not? Why demons are there? They are also Krishna's sons. As long as we were not chanting, weren't we demons then? So, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and be happy. Thank you very much.